Welcome to Beyond the Ballot AZ. I'm your host, Tom Collins, Executive Director of the Arizona Citizens Clean Election Commission.
And I'm Gina Roberts, Voter Education Director for Clean Elections.
Today we're going to be talking about poll workers, who are really the backbone of elections. We're talking about the people who greet you in person on election day at a voting location. And we're talking about people who are your neighbors and your friends and folks you see out in the community every day. Election departments around the state work very hard to staff our polling locations and voting locations with folks who live in the area. But there is a challenge in recruiting people.
That's right, Tom. This year the primary election is July 21st. So recruitment right now for poll workers, it's pretty hard. And all of our counties are feeling that impact across the state. But for the focus of today's show, we're going to be talking about some of the facts about what poll workers do. Not only do they have to go through the regular training and be ready to serve on election day, but they also have to adapt to changes pretty quickly if there is an emergency. And so, as you said, they really are the backbone of our election system.
And it also provides an opportunity, if you become a poll worker, to be trained so you really understand all the different checks and balances and all the different protocols that are in place to ensure that folks' ballots are counted fairly and accurately.
That's a really good point, Tom. Maybe you just really want to know more about the system. So you will be right there getting all of the training, learning about the laws and the procedures. We could not have elections without poll workers. Anybody who has ever served, a big thank you. We know it's a big commitment of your time. And so we very much appreciate your time and service. And for those who maybe haven't served, this is a great opportunity to get involved.
We're here with Coconino County Elections Director Eslir Musta. Eslir, thanks for joining the show.
Well, thank you very much, Tom and Gina, for inviting me over. I'm really excited to join the podcast. I'm a fan. So.
Oh, well, thank you. That's wonderful to hear. So one of the things we want to talk about was becoming a poll worker. Most people don't know that it really is a real, official job. You take an oath of office, just like an elected official. What is it about being a poll worker that, we have this sense of seriousness about it? Why is that so important?
Poll workers are the lifeline for election and for election administration. We have a very dedicated core of election poll workers that come in year after year. And in a lot of our small rural communities, they're known as the elections people. Like that, they represent and have taken on that mission and core value of being the voice and face for our voters. So we very much appreciate them.
I think poll workers also add a very important element of transparency to the process because, as we've kind of indicated here, poll workers, they're everyday people, right? It's our neighbors, it's our family, our friends. Well, I guess for lack of a better word, it's not Big Brother or anything. It is the people in our community who are actually working on the ground on election day at the polls. And so that really, I think, makes it such a transparent process. So with that, there's got to be, I think, some level of requirement to serve as a poll worker. Can you talk us through what those requirements are?
So there are the legal requirement, like the framework, and that's very important element to keep in mind that helps with the transparency, that helps with the fairness, that helps with accountability of the entire election administration process on election day. And polling locations are staffed by bipartisan board members. So that is a built-in feature of that system. It's a legal requirement. It's something that we take very much at heart in our county to balance those boards with both major political parties. So in Arizona, and I'm not breaking any news here, independent voters are a solid 35, in some counties even more, 40% of the voter population. So we have lots of independent voters that also serve as poll workers. They're not witnessing it from the major political parties' perspective. They're witnessing it from that community perspective. And that's, again, important in a lot for us because it does bring in that additional transparency. The nature of our election administration being delegated at the county level allows for these nuances and meeting the needs of the communities is that we serve a lot of voters in our Native American communities, Navajo Nation, Hopi, Havasupai tribe. And we, in addition to all the political, and legal requirements for training poll workers, we also have some cultural awareness and language requirements for those poll workers. So again, it's very much an opportunity to reflect back to the community the service that they're getting on election day.
So one of the things I understand in Coconino that you've been able to build some innovative partnerships with employers to recruit poll workers. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We have a retired poll workers, like an abundance of them. So we try to pair those workers and to kind of balance and ask different public institutions here in Coconino County to make a call and have a call out for their employees to use their volunteer hours to serve as poll workers. And we've had significant success with that call. We've partnered very well with the city of Flagstaff, with Northern Arizona University, with our community college to deliver quality services for voters on election day. And I think that's been a focal point for all of us and something that has paid dividend for putting together election day activities.
That's a great idea. And, I think it inspires the business community to promote and really serve as leaders with civic engagement and support their employees. So you've noted kind of this group of poll workers here where we've have this retired community segment and then the business community here with employees. What about maybe people who haven't even turned 18 yet? Are there opportunities for youth poll workers?
There definitely are, and there are some statutory language that allows voters that are not voters, registered voters yet, but young people that live in Arizona that turn 16, that they can participate as student poll workers. And we're working with government affairs teachers in different high schools here in Flagstaff and in Page to encourage that pipeline of poll workers. Because again, we've seen that people that invest in and understand the process early on, like they become great promoters. And we are actually dealing with some challenges in this upcoming primary election with a lot of vacation plans and family time that is very much needed for everybody in the month of July. So we are kind of pivoting a little bit and looking particularly at this young potential cohort of election board workers, since they're going to be out of school, and we want to again engage with them.
I imagine there's some training that they have to go through, but also with the time that they're committing, because election day is a very long day, and then any training. Is this all volunteer hours? Are they getting paid for this?
Our training is kind of several like building blocks. Our election board workers receive a 2.5 hour training. It's in person, that is also supplemented by some online resources. And it is a pretty thorough curriculum that covers several areas in election administration, from election law to like ADA compliance to chain of security and custody processes, and to the operation of the equipment at polling places. And then for our leadership group, which is made out of the inspectors as well as troubleshooters and ID checkers at polling locations, we have another 2.5 hour training commitment that is more hands-on, more kind of practical, setting up of the equipment, setting up of the polling location. And for all of these, we do provide a stipend for our election board workers. In statute, that stipend has to be at least $30. But we're lucky in our county that our board of supervisors has put resources, and we do have a tiered system based on roles and responsibilities. But we pay up to $330 for the poll workers that are deployed.
If someone was still looking to become a poll worker for the primary election, what are the deadlines in Coconino, and then what are the general deadlines for folks to try to apply and sign up?
The recruitment process itself is an ongoing process. I think we are focusing on the primary election because that is what is coming and what's ahead of us. But we do know that we will need additional resources and people coming come November election. So for the primary election, we would like to get. We're already in training session, so we're filling those classes, we're filling those polling locations. So the sooner the better for applying. The cutoff for the primary would be around July 13th.
Okay. Well, any last thoughts on working as an election worker?
The people that do work elections, like whether they're poll workers or whether they're full-time staff, like they learn and kind of learn right away early on that they love it and love the idea of like serving others, like love the ability to help voters vote. It's a great option for people to not just feel good about what they do, but make a lasting impact and bring fairness and bring advocacy for free and fair elections across the board.
Thanks for listening to Beyond the Ballot AZ. I'm Gina Roberts.
And I'm Tom Collins. We'll see you next week.